Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am so excited to be sitting down and filming this video. I have been waiting to film this video for months. Today I am revealing BK Beauty's newest launch. We are launching with 9 new brush styles, an extension to our core collection. We are launching this Thursday at 7 a.m. Central on bkbeauty.com. Now, I know many of you are not surprised by this because I've been using these brushes in my videos all year long. We have been developing these brushes for a year and a half. Paul and I sat down the other day and we couldn't believe that it's been a year and a half. It has been the quickest year and a half of my life. So much has happened in this last year and a half, but a year and a half has gone into the development of these brushes. So before we get started and before I introduce them to you, I want to thank you guys for your support. I always want to express gratitude on these launch days because it really would not be possible without this YouTube community. I wouldn't be able to do BK Beauty if I didn't have this YouTube channel and this community of supporters and viewers to my channel. So thank you guys so much. If you're a customer of BK Beauty, thank you so much for supporting our business and our brand these last 3 years. And I especially want to thank those of you who send us your feedback, those of you who email customer support and let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see differently, what you want to see in the future. We really do capture that feedback and that goes into what we do. It goes into the development of our products. So thank you guys so much. Before I introduce each of these 9 styles, I want to share that one point of feedback that we kept seeing over and over was shorter handles. Those of you that like to get really close in the mirror wanted a little bit of a shorter handle to be able to do that. So all 9 of these brushes have a shorter handle. Now I want to say it's slightly shorter. It's not a travel size brush. It is slightly shorter, but it's still a full size brush. But because they have slightly shorter, all 9 of these will fit into our travel set. So if you own the travel set, you know that there's plenty of room to add additional products and you can fit any of these 9 brushes in that travel set. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started. I will share all the details at the end of this video as far as what to expect on Thursday and the different bundles that will be available for purchase. I want to start first by introducing the first brush that really kicked off and inspired this launch. It was a brush that I have been wanting to develop for a long time. It's a brush that I have heard so many requests from you guys to create, and that is, I'm going to introduce our 109 Mini Contoured Foundation Brush. She's literally the cutest thing you have ever seen. Sorry, Mila. So the BK Beauty 109 is inspired by obviously our best-selling brush, our BK Beauty 101 brush. Now the 109 can also be used for foundation. It is very similar in shape to the 101, but there's a big difference obviously in the size of the brush, not only in the length of the fibers, but the density of the brush. So how that translates to actual makeup application. You can use this for foundation. It's a smaller brush, so it's going to take you a little bit more time. One thing that we hear about the 101 that everyone loves is how quickly it blends out your foundation. So this is going to take a little bit more time, but there's a little more detail involved. It's great for applying sheer foundations. It's not as dense as the 101, so it's going to sheer product out a little bit better in terms of like getting a real natural finish. It's really great for cream blush, cream bronzer, cream highlight. You can even use it for concealer because of the size of it. So it's a really great multitasking foundation brush. I would not just use this for foundation. I would use this for a variety of other cream and liquid products. Our BK Beauty 109. The next brush is one that I have wanted to develop for so long. It's our BK Beauty 110 Large Concealer Brush. And this really filled a gap in terms of what we had in our core lineup. We have the Angie Hot and Flashy Concealer Brush, which is one of our best sellers. Everyone loves that concealer brush, me included. This is very different. This is larger. This is kind of like a sponge and a brush had a baby, and it was the 110. Now, I really exclusively use this for concealer. You could use it for other cream products if you wanted on the cheeks, but I really find myself just using it for a cream concealer. I want to compare it to our 108 simply because the shape looks similar, and on the website it will look very similar, but there's a big difference between the two. So the 108 is longer. It's also fluffier and softer. This is more dense. There's more fibers and they're more densely packed. So I've always said the 108 is a great multitasking brush, and I love to use this for concealer, but I've always said that it works great for all concealers except full coverage thicker concealers. Because it's fluffy, you need something more dense to blend those types of formulas into the skin. And the 110 does it all. It does those, it does more sheer natural concealers. It really truly is like a sponge on a handle. So this is our BK Beauty 110 Large Concealer Brush. Next up, we have our 111 Dense Bronzer Brush. Now, this looks similar to our 107, but it's a lot larger. So how that really translates in application. I love to use this for cream bronzer. This has been my go-to cream bronzer brush. I use it with my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. Because of the size and the density of it, it picks up cream products really well, lays it on the skin, blends it out beautifully. I love this. This is kind of fills the gap between the 107 and the 103. The 103 is larger and fluffier. The 107 has the same shape, but it's smaller, and the 111 fills that gap. I personally love to use this for bronzer, and bronzer only really. You can use it for cream or you can use it for powder bronzer, and it just applies a really soft, like golden glow to the skin and blends it out very naturally. Next up, we have the 112 Small Angled Face Brush. And I didn't want to call this a blush brush because of the size of it. It really allows you to use it for other purposes on the face. So definitely you can use it for blush, powder or cream blush. It's a smaller shape, so it's really great for smaller face shapes or smaller cheeks. But because the size of it is on the smaller side, you can also use it on the orbital bone to sweep or blend out a highlighting product, whether it's cream or powder. You can also use the brush head here to blend out a cream contour on the nose or to dust a little bronzer on the nose. It's really light and fluffy, so it's going to apply product in a very light and sheer manner and do a great job of blending it out. Next up, we have the 113 Small Flat Powder Brush. Now, I use this for pretty much everything that I use the BK Beauty 108 brush for. So in application terms, they do the same things. The shape and the size are very different. So I use this to set underneath the eyes with powder. You can use this to apply cream products on the cheeks. You can also use it as a highlighter. You can use it as a precision powder brush, which is what the 108 is described, but the shape is a little different. So if you like more of a flat surface to press powder into the skin, this is a great option for you. This will really do a great job of setting and pressing product into the skin, kind of helping getting that really poreless, matte, smooth look with your loose powder. The BK Beauty 108, you can do the same thing, but it's a little bit more of a sweeping brush. So this is the BK Beauty 113 Small Flat Powder Brush. Next up, we have the BK Beauty 209 Mini Shader Brush. Now, this was inspired to me from our 204, but it's very different. You can see, I want to show you guys the shape and size of this. So the 204, which is this guy here, is really dense and short. It's great for smudging out kohl liner or applying eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line, where the 209, it's obviously small and dense, so it's great for doing all those things as well, but you can also use this on the inner corner of the eye. If you have smaller eye shapes, this could be your eyeshadow brush to pack color on the lid. It's a great detail shader brush, so if you really like to go in there and add that extra detail with your eye makeup look, this is a great brush for you. I actually like to use it too underneath the brow to highlight the brow. Sometimes I'll take the crease color up a little higher and I just have a small space of skin that I want to highlight, and this is a great option. It's small, but it's still fluffy enough to give a soft, pretty blend. Next up, we have the 210 Mini Pencil Brush. This was another brush that I have been wanting to add to the collection since we launched the 207, which is our current standing pencil brush. Now, I've always described our 207 as being different than your average pencil brush, and I will explain why. So the 207 you can see is larger and there's more of a dome shape to it. Most pencil brushes have a bit more of a tapered or pointy tip to it, and ours is more dome and rounded. The 207 is great for adding extra dimension out here in the outer corner and blending into the crease and still getting a little bit of a softer blend because of the dome tip. You can also smoke out lower lash shadow here as well. Now, the new 210 is smaller, so it's gonna pick up a little bit more product and apply it in a smaller space. It also has more of a pointy tip, so if you like a carved out crease or a lot of definition, or you really want to control that contour or crease definition, this is a great one. You can use this also to apply, and then you can go in with like a blending brush to blend out, but it's a smaller, more precise version of the 207. Next up, we have the 211 Detail Blender Brush, and this is an excellent crease brush for detail crease work when you want more of a blended application. It's a smaller crease brush, so it's much smaller than our 202 or a 201, which means you're gonna have a lot of control over where that shadow goes, but it's still round and fluffy at the tip, so it's still gonna blend out nicely. This would be kind of like my last blending brush in the process. I would go in with something larger to create that transition color, then I'd go in with this brush to create a little bit more definition, but still get a really pretty blend. And last, we have the 212 Medium Blender Brush. Now, this one, I really wanted to dive into the differences between this brush and what we currently have because it's very similar. So in our current core collection, we have the 201 and we have the 202 blending crease brushes. These were part of our original launch. Now, when you look at these two brushes, you can see the difference. The 201, which was this one here, has a much rounder head shape, right? Where the 202 is a little bit more tapered. It's still a little fluffy, but it has more of a tapered tip. So I've always said that the 201 is a great one to start with if you want a really sheer blown out crease, right? So maybe you're working with a lighter color and you want it to be just really sheared out. This is great. And then when you want to go in with a little more detail, you can go in with the 202. Now, the 212 is basically a hybrid of these two brushes. So it's not as tapered as the 202 and it's not as round and fat as the 201. So it fits right there in the middle. If you have the 202 and the 201, do you need the 212? No, but it is that like middle ground brush. It's a hybrid between the two. So when you want something that kind of gives a blown out look, but you don't want it to be as large as the 201, maybe you have a smaller eye shape or you want to have a little more control over that, then the 212 is for you. So the 212 was really inspired by the 201 and the 202, just tweaking the two. So getting more of the size of the 202, but getting more of the shape of the 201. And that's what you have in the 212. So those are BK Beauty's 9 new brushes in our core collection. Okay, so let's talk details for Thursday. So Thursday morning, I will have a video going up using and showing you, just going further in depth on each of these brushes and how I use them in an actual makeup application, showing you as many possible ways to use these brushes so you have a really good idea of, how they fit into your current BK Beauty collection, what you need, what you don't need, all of that, that will be in that video and that will be up Thursday morning. These sets will be available for purchase Thursday morning on bkbeauty.com at 7 a.m. Central. We are going to be rolling these out and selling them in bundles only at first. They will be available for individual purchase early next year, so probably early January, maybe February. So initially you can purchase the full 9-piece collection for $185. You can purchase the 5-piece face set for $140, or you can purchase the 4 eye brushes for $60. Your discount codes will apply to those, so you can always use that. I'll have one dropped in the description box below for you guys. All bundles do qualify for free shipping in the United States. And we have been preparing in typical BK Beauty fashion for weeks. So we are doing our best to get these out as fast as possible. If you've shopped with BK Beauty before, you know that we usually get orders out same day. Launch days are always like depending on how like flooded we are with orders, I don't know that we'll get them out same day, but we will get them out fast. We are ready, you guys. So we're ready for your orders and we're ready to get them shipped out fast. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all your support for the last 3 years. Launch days are always so exciting. And it's just a reminder of just how grateful we are. Like I say me, but really we, our BK Beauty team, Paul, like we are so grateful for you guys. So thank you for all your support and for helping us get here with BK Beauty. It's been an amazing 3 years and thank you. All right, you guys, I will see you here Thursday morning. Bye.